Okay, everybody, we are here at our speaking time. So I'd like to introduce our panel. Well, I will introduce the moderator of the panel, and she will introduce everybody. Albania Rosario. Did I say that right?
Yes, you did.
Fantastic. Okay. Fashion designers of Latin America. She will be speaking about how COVID has changed the fashion and apparel industry from a design perspective. So a very, very relevant topic for right now. I think and this is actually a topic that has come up in our other presentations a little bit as well. So this is kind of going to tie it all together. So, again, everybody that is watching, we do have a chat function. So if you have any questions, post them there. We'll address them at the very end. Please take it away.
Of course. Thank you so much, Jason. Thanks everyone for connecting with us. Today's in our section. I am so excited to be here. And with that being said, let me share my screen so you guys can actually see what we're going to be discussing today. It's a very interesting topic, definitely important. And so our topic today is how COVID-19 has changed the fashion industry from a design and events perspective. Now, before I go into the topic, I would like to formally introduce myself. Like Jason mentioned, my name is Albania Rosario. I am the founder and CEO of Fashion Designers of Latin America. And for some of you who don't know what Fashion Designers of Latin America, so pretty much FDLA is what Fashion Designers of Latin America stands for. And so who we are. Fashion Designers of Latin America, in Spanish, Federación de Diseñadores de Latinoamérica, powered by the FDLA Group, INC. So FDLA has become the signature multicultural fashion event of New York City. FDLA found its development on providing exposure for established, emerging, and up-and-coming clothing designers from around the world, especially Latin America, in an effort to extend a meaningful fashion trade. By doing this has been an undertaking and nurturing opportunities for the publicity of international talents whose creative abilities are overflowing, but financial resources are not. And what this means is that Fashion Designers of Latin America is a platform that allows fashion designers, up-and-coming talent, and emerging designers from all over the world to be able to have a presence and to be able to showcase their talent during one of the most exciting weeks in the fashion industry, which is New York Fashion Week. With that being said, FDLA over here, we have our digital shows as a direct result of the COVID-19 pandemic. FDLA members, we have about 200 brands that we are working with and that we represent in the fashion industry through our platform. And of course, our FDLA headquarters and offices are in New York City, located at 251 West 30th Street, New York, New York. And our email is down below here, info@fdla.ceo. not .com, .ceo, and also our website, fdla.ceo. With that being said, let's get into my guest today. I decided to add two of our FDLA members to this conversation. So not only you're gonna hear from me, you're also going to be hearing from Toribio and Donato, fashion designers, Toribio and Donato brand, and they're actually from Costa Rica. And also you'll be hearing some details from Cenia Paredes, fashion designer and CEO at Cenia, New York. She's based in the United States, but she's actually from the Dominican Republic like me. So we'll have them joining us in a little bit after I go over my part of the conversation. So how COVID-19 has changed the fashion industry from a fashion show perspective, which is my forte, is really what I come in handy. Personally, and from my own experience this past season during New York Fashion Week, COVID-19 restrictions gave fashion events a new look. And I'm going to speak on behalf of the fashion scene here at New York Fashion Week. Definitely look different this past season, where the typical 7-day parade is stripped down to only 5 days, less live shows and more online runway shows, socially distanced audiences and face covering. And not to forget to mention, in a week that you normally will see 150 plus events in 1 week, it's stripped down all the way to like 15 to 20 events if that, live events where everybody has to be social distance and wear their face mask and the so. So basically, that's the first impact that the COVID pandemic has been seen while we're doing the fashion events here in New York. So now FBC, what I like to call fashion before COVID. What you see here, it is a selection of pictures of what a traditional fashion event will look like anywhere you go. Not only Fashion Week in New York, but also anywhere in the world. What you normally see, the common denominator on these photos is basically lots and lots of people, crowds everywhere, lots and lots of models, correct? So this is what you normally see in a typical runway event before COVID. So now here I have some samples, some videos to even show you a little bit more of what this was before the COVID pandemic. Here, let me lower the volume a little bit. We have a little video promo of what it was Shanghai Fashion Week. So it's not only in New York, but also the whole industry around the globe. This is the same thing as the pictures before. You see people, hundreds of people lining up to get in. You see hundreds of models, companies, sponsors taking part of the fashion scene during the events at Fashion Week. Over here we have, this is actually one of our designers, Custo Barcelona, and this is his runway carousel, I think it was, during one of the New York Fashion Week events. And down below here, we also have a photo of a runway carousel with lots of models and lots of people. And you're probably wondering, why am I showing you this? Well, some people don't really know what the scene actually looks like at New York Fashion Week before COVID. So now I'm going to show you a little bit of what fashion shows look like now and what are the big brands doing with this whole pandemic. So while we're facing the COVID-19 crisis, organizers of fashion weeks and brands have either called off their shows or found a new way to showcase their new collections and engage with buyers, which is our case at FDLA when we created the FDLA Digital. Let's talk about these photos for a moment. We have the top photo here, which represents a venue that was completely transformed into a digital event. As you can see, the seats are large screens with pictures of people actually watching the shows from their homes as opposed to live audience. So that's one of the big changes. And I think this is where Bauman reimagined the front row experience with digital guests. So that's one of the most popular changes that we've seen so far in the industry. Also, most of the designers have been very, very creative. For example, I have down here Moschino, who used puppets and marionettes for a socially distanced fashion show. And this did not include any live audience. This was actually marionettes all over, from the models to the audience. I'm not sure if you can see the full photo here, but as you notice, even the audience were marionettes. And then we have up here, this was supposed to be a video. I'm not sure if it's going to work, but Hackemus created a physical catwalk in socially distanced wheat or corn field. I think it was wheat or corn, one of those fields. And as you can see, what this tells us is now that the creativity has taken a relevant role when it comes to innovating during the fashion events to be able to move forward and be able to produce the shows. So now in our next slide, I'm going to show you there's actually Toribio and Donato's showcase with us at FDLA. And while you watch this little video, so you can see what fashion shows are now online. We all know that Fashion Week have become so crowded in recent years, and tickets to the show has always been hard to get, right? In part because so many famous people pack the front rows, but you know, celebrities, front rows, and influencers, they pack the shows. That's why tickets are so hard to get. But that was before COVID, right? So all that is gone. No longer are the models packed together backstage to prepare, and the in crowd, it's no longer invited. That's one of the biggest changes that I also have seen. So what we have to say with that is some of the traditional excitement has been lost for sure. But looking at the bright side, which I think is one of the good things about this, is that fashion is no longer an event that is restricted to chosen few, like they would normally say. And to me personally, that is definitely a great change. So the COVID pandemic has changed nearly everything about how we used to see and attend traditional fashion shows. So what does that mean for events organizers like myself? And what does that mean for designers? It simply means that technology and digital fashion have brought in a new efficient solution during this pandemic crisis. Digitalization, online expansion, and innovation for fashion brands and events organizers is definitely the future of the industry. Now, moving on our next slide, I have four important bullet points that I wanted to bring up before I introduce and I let our FDLA members continue with the presentation. These are four bullet points that I kind of put together because of the changes that have been dramatically seen and how will COVID change the fashion industry moving forward. So now, slower fashion. The virus pandemic has forced a rethink of some of the industry habits. Brands and retailers are taking the opportunity to do some of the things that were being discussed before, which is, should we be selling the right season in the right season? Should we be thinking about consolidating to fewer seasons and more capsules approach as opposed to having 8 seasons in a year and having buyers come to 8 different markets? Those are some of the questions that fashion events and fashion designers are, sorry, my page went beforehand, there it is. And fashion designers and retailers are definitely thinking about. Now, online domination. I think we all know this. I think we all know, we already seen a move to online. Online was by far the highest growth segment of the industry. And because people now have been forced to an online world, that will accelerate. And I think it is already accelerating. A strong online presence is key to brand survivals now and their success in the future. Not only to brands, but also to events, fashion events in general. Now, let me move the screen over to the side so I can move on to this other important bullet point. I've been getting a lot of questions from people in all of our social media platforms about what is the future of fashion weeks, fashion events per se. And with all the travel restrictions and social media distancing, rule have most fashion weeks into a digital space for the foreseeable future. So online streaming and catwalk shows and no guest policies has been definitely become the new normal for the fashion industry. Now I have a little quote up here that I wanted to put out here before I finish. And this is obviously terrible health crisis and is an economic crisis. But we hope that out of that, there will be silver linings and positive impacts from the long term. Now, I do have a final important bullet point here, and the reason why I left it for last is because from this point on, our FDLA members are going to continue to discuss, is that the boom of sustainability. During the crisis, many customers have been shopping more consciously and thinking about ethical aspects of their shopping experience. A shift in consumers' mindset is expected to accelerate, and is already accelerating through this pandemic. It's because now people are thinking a lot more about endorsing companies that have a mission, companies that have a purpose, and companies that are doing good to the planet and the world in general. And with that being said, I want to pass it on to our FDLA member, Toribio and Donato, who are going to discuss a little further in and how COVID has changed the fashion industry from a design perspective. You heard from me a little bit of what the changes have been into the fashion events perspective. And now our FDLA member, Oscar, will discuss it from a design perspective, and then followed by Cenia Paredes, who's also going to go in depth on design and apparel perspective. So with that being said, I'm going to stop my screen. And I'm going to pass it on to Oscar, who's going to continue from here. Oscar, the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for having us. We love to share with everyone what we do and how we do it. Let me share just my screen. Okay. We are Toribio and Donato. I am one of the creative minds. Donato is here right next to me, but I'm the one talking today. How do we prepare for COVID-19 and the pandemic? We were not prepared. I think we were working since last year for totally different 2020. We have goals and expectations, many dreams. And I don't know, we have to redesign not only a collection, also the platform, the marketing tools, the showcase. And I want to talk before going on this, I want to talk a little bit about the brand, so everyone gets to know us. Or we are a brand based in Costa Rica. The collection that we launched in New York Fashion Week, thanks to fashion designers of Latin America, it was Hope. This collection went through 3-4 different names. Even one of the names in one moment it was Hysteria, because we didn't know how and when was everything going to end. And we are more than a fashion brand, and we have been working for 6 years to make our work and our message clear. We are a sustainable business model based on ethical, sustainable, and traceable values. And this has been a journey, a never-ending journey, working very hard, very close with suppliers, working very close with our team, working very close to our clients, and getting the message across. This is something, and I'm going to talk a bit about this later on, is about how we have been partnering for these 6 years with different organizations to certify what we do. And without knowing, because of agenda, it was like that, going through the sustainable path, it was worth it now during COVID-19, because the mindset of our clients, the mindset of the industry, it has changed, and it has changed for good. On this collection we started last year, the hardest, I think, thing that we go through as sustainable designers is our main materials. And because they have to be ethical, they have to be traceable, also as we are. And this year for this collection, we work with recycled, upcycled denim, with organic cotton, and also we work with vegan leather made from cactus. And it's very important because all the techniques of the process were sustainable. And cactus as a source of vegan leather is an amazing material, because the plantation, the plant, the crop demands a very minimum amount of water. Also, the chemicals, the formulation, the pesticides are minimum. So it's incredible as a sustainable alternative substitute of animal hide. I want to talk a bit more about the collection before I go through all the learning that we did during COVID and during Fashion Week with Albania and her team. This collection was made 100% in Latin America, and this is a new reality. We are proud because also the materials are from Latin America. We work with factories from Guatemala and Mexico to produce the fabrics, the textiles, and the vegan leather. Our team, and this is something that when you are ethical as an ethical business, COVID-19 face us to our speech, and that is something that we learn, you know, and we have to earn it. We decided as a company because no matter how small or how big is your project, you're a company. We decided not to fire anyone. We didn't cut hours in our to our employees, and we keep working from everyone's homes. So we have to run and set up small ateliers. We had meetings every morning. We talk to our team every single day from Monday to Friday. Even Saturdays, we did yoga by Zoom. We did breathing exercises to keep the hope up, because people were getting down all of the time. People were nervous about risking their jobs. They didn't know what's going to happen. And every time that you go on the news, every time you go to social media, you see all these companies from fast fashion just firing people. So we decided, no, we stay and we work. We didn't know at that moment that was risky, where everything that we were making was going to be seen by someone. It was going to be seen just by our social media and website, or we didn't know, but we continue working. In this collection, we decided not to use prints, to avoid any additional environmental costs. And we transformed the whole process of making clothing. We developed techniques of construction, and thanks to a set of waste patterns, we use 100% of the textiles, because now you have to be smart also with the prime material that you have. You have to reinvent yourself. You have to reinvent your collections. You have to make it happen. You have to deliver a product, but maybe you don't have money to buy more fabrics. So you have sometimes to develop a new collection with a new concept from what you have already. And through that, we explore a minimalism, and we add textures and volumes with all the leftover from the fabric that we use in the collection, and we create all the patterning that you saw now in few of the pictures that Albania showed us, and I want to show you some later. One day, and this is Albania, we received an invitation, and at the beginning I was a skeptic. I didn't know if it was true, and I say, well, let's talk by email. Let's go, let's go and have a meeting. We had a meeting, and Albania and the New York on the New York Fashion Week platform through the Fashion Designers of Latin America invite us to show our collection. So we decided to create the video, and FDLA team give us some guidelines, very important for us to let people know about the brand, about us, about the material that we use. And it's a different concept, because now just know a runway. Those places with only few people right now are open, thanks to social media and all the platforms right now. You can connect to many people. And I have to say this now, the moment that fashion designers of Latin America launched our collection online, we were making sales. We shipped to Singapore, we shipped to Australia, we shipped to England, we shipped to Canada, to United States, to Mexico and Brazil. Places that we never went before. Our biggest market is United States. And now we were opening new markets in new places. And a little bit, this is a story that happened. This lady from Philippines got stuck in Costa Rica, and she saw the collection online, and she couldn't believe it. It was a Costa Rican brand. So she called us, and we opened the atelier for a few hours, and also so people will see the digital platforms. What we learned, and this is a long list, a never-ending list, and we'll have more, but these are just few. We live in a digital world, and we have to adapt. It's mandatory. No matter what, we have to adapt, and we have to rethink our images. We have to rethink our message, and we have to accelerate the digital migration process. In that moment, when COVID happened in Europe and then in America, we run and we build a website. We open different ways of payments. We create monthly newsletter, and we start doing lives talking about what we were going through, and that was amazing. That people were connected, and people is more connected now through social media, and they want to know what's happening. People is eager to learn. COVID it left something on people, and they want to learn. They want to know what is behind brands, who is the people working. We want to now something very, very important is, as I said before, every brand rethink your message, rethink what you do it right, do it traceable, transparent. We want to partner now. This is a decision that we take with a more diversity pool of vendors, because during COVID, the risk is that you don't have more prime material to work with. So platforms like this are very important for us designers to start searching for new vendors. We must develop friendly platforms to promote and market our products. It's just not just a runway. We are working on a post-COVID strategy as a brand to maximize the digital experience, YouTube channel, for example. And we realized that the face-to-face, as Albania said, approach we're used to needs the support of platforms like Fashion Designers of Latin America, like you right now in this moment. And we really thank the opportunity to be here. We're living also in a more inclusive world. Now fashion shows are for many people. And Albania can correct me, but our collections were shown by we reached 8 million people. And that is amazing. We could never do that in just a runway in any fashion show. We're doing our best to balance our market, to have a better control and minimize risk. You have to know and learn how to invest, protect your employees, grow your company safely, and always be ethical. And that will be an amazing way to educate and pass the message on to the client. And they will be the best ambassador of your brand. What's next? We want to tell a story through design and give a special attention to all the elements involved in the process. Who, when, and how everything is manufactured. It's important to be transparent, as I said it before, with the production process, with the production conditions, the origin of the materials, the impact to our collaborators, suppliers, and customers. Fashion is more, and this is a line that we always say, I wanna share with everyone. Fashion is more powerful than we think. And we know the industry is powerful. So it's in our hands to create a brighter and more sustainable future for everyone. If you have any question, please let us know. I'm very bad with presentations, and I'm better with just an open conversation with everyone. But we believe that being a sustainable brand, it make a difference right now in the market. Being allied with platforms like this one and with Fashion Designers of Latin America is giving us an amazing exposure. Stay connected to your customers. Tell your story, tell what you're doing, how you're doing it. People want to learn, people want to know. And social media and all these platforms are free. So don't wait anymore. Thank you.
Alrighty, thank you so much, Oscar, for that amazing presentation. I think we're now going to leave the floor to our FDLA member, Cenia Paredes, who is the CEO of Cenia New York. So when Oscar stops sharing the screen, then Cenia, the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. I'm just going to try and share my screen in a minute. Yes, there we are. Okay, so let me introduce myself. I'm Cenia Paredes. I'm the founder and CEO of Cenia New York. And I have two lines. I have the Cenia New York line, which is a dress line, day into evening, and also a denim line, which is my patent pending Cenia Combi jean. I was born in the Dominican Republic. I've been in New York 30 years, graduated from FIT, and started working in New York fashion industry in 2004. after about 8 years of working in the industry for very renowned brands such as Calvin Klein Jeans, True Religion Outerwear, and Oscar de la Renta, or Oscar D by Oscar de la Renta, I decided to launch my own brand, which was my ultimate dream, my ultimate goal. And I started Cenia New York with the vision of filling a void in the market for women's apparel that understood the different variations of the bodies, the women body. I, as a Latina, as a Caribbean, curvy woman, I had a lot of trouble finding clothing that would fit me on the market. And after doing some market research, I realized that there were many, many women having the same trouble. And that's what I wanted to bring to the table with my Cenia New York brand. A more understanding of clothing that fit and flatter women of all sizes and all body types. So my Cenia New York line right now sells in about 250 specialty stores in the United States and overseas in Latin America and Europe. And my Cenia Convigin line is currently sold at the Home Shopping Network, HSN, in America, as well as specialty stores in the United States and the Caribbean. So with that said, I'm gonna go on and talk a little bit about how COVID has changed the fashion apparel industry and from the design perspective. Well, the pandemic effect. Well, for me, as for many designers that I have a relationship with that I talk to, lots of canceled orders. I have produced my Spring 20 collection, what was on order from the specialty stores. And when the bulk arrived to the United States and I was ready to ship, the stores closed down. So as you can understand, it was chaos. It was very scary situation. The stores said that they were going to put orders on hold, that they were going to probably see if they would accept the orders later on. A lot of stores did cancel orders. And some of the stores, when they started reopening, said that it was already too late to receive spring merchandise. So it was a time to manage the situation and try to come up with solutions. Of course, I had that excess inventory that I had to move. And so, of course, I had invested in producing these orders, and I had to pay the factory to produce these orders. So I had to come up with a solution soon. Luckily, I did have the HSN order with my jean, and that was a great relief for me because I was able to work very hard on the logistics of delivering this order, and the launch, even though it was postponed from April, that it was supposed to happen to July, it did happen, and that was a big relief cash flow wise for my company. In the meantime, I tried to remain relevant, stay present online on social media, continue to post. I thought that you have to let, even though it was a somber moment, it was a difficult moment, a sad moment for many people, and we were all scared, that there was a good moment to also let people know that you're there, you're working hard, you are trying to make things happen, you are trying to put your brand up there and keep relevant. And so that's what I did. And so this was the damage control phase for my brand. So I started investing more in social media marketing. I did content. I worked a lot on content. I accepted many invitations to do interviews for lives, Instagram lives, Facebook lives, so I could communicate with my customers and stay present. Lots of content, invested in social media ads as well, Facebook and Instagram. And I invested. I made a huge investment in SEO so that I could try and channel as much traffic as possible towards my online store. And it worked. It actually worked. And I started to get messages from my followers to want to buy the products directly. DM, lots of DM, Cenia, can I have that? When can I have that? I did notice that my jean was the one that was moving. My jean happens to be made out of a very stretchy fabric. It feels more almost like leggings. It's very comfortable. So fortunately, my jean continued to move to sell online. It actually started to sell more online than before COVID. And also when the stores, I sell a lot to stores in the south of the United States. When stores started to open in May, I started to get reorders from them, which was an amazing relief for me. And I started to send orders to the stores as well as selling online. And then in July, my HSN debut happened, which also gave me a lot of exposure. I got press, I got featured on Vogue Mexico, I got many write-ups on US media. And also all the promoting that I was doing myself helped to get more exposure and more traffic into my web store and my social media channels. We also started to do my sales rep. I do have a showroom that represents me in Atlanta market and in Dallas market. The shows were completely dead. The April show in which we were supposed to show the fall 20 collection was completely dead. We had no traffic at all, understandably. And then we had the June show, which we were hoping, because I had also produced those samples. I sampled that collection to sell fall orders. And that show was completely dead as well. So I decided to try and sell things that people were wearing at the moment, not to make production for the fall 20 collection, and instead sell to order. So as I've been posting on my social media channels, people order, and this is not the stores, this is the consumer, direct to consumer. They order, and the factory has been very flexible because they are also suffering due to the situation, and they also want to be able to do whatever they can and sell whatever they can. So they've been extremely flexible, which is an advantage that we didn't have before. And we've been making things to order for the fall. And the showrooms, what they started to do was to do Zoom meetings with buyers. Instead of in person, of course. And that started to generate some orders as well. And now the show in August in Dallas and in Atlanta, they did start to see some buyers coming in person. It wasn't as busy as it usually is for this show. These shows is when the stores buy the spring collection. So in the August show and the October shows, the buyers were going to come to buy spring 21. It was also a great opportunity for us to see what the buyers were looking to buy for spring 21. And so in the August show, I already had an idea. In the October show, which I went in person, I attended the show. We have more traffic. I did get some of my customers that buy my line consistently. So that's a good relief because it shows that the buyers are ready to start buying products for the store. They're seeing a light at the end of the tunnel. And that's what we expected, that, hey, if they don't come and buy Spring 21 merchandise, what are they going to sell? What are they going to have in the stores? So luckily the buyers did come, not as busy as previous years, but they did come and started to place orders. And also at the shows, we did have some buyers that didn't come, but made appointments to have a Zoom meeting, a Zoom sales session. And we were able to secure orders in that way, which is a great advantage and a great thing that has happened with the pandemic, that we now can sell remotely, and it's the new normal. Actually, you know, this is the new normal. They are fine with doing with a Zoom presentation. And then in exploring other sales channels, the brick and mortar stores, this is the department stores, the boutiques, which is 90% of my my sales is the brick and mortar stores, the actual stores. It used to be before COVID. As they are struggling, the department stores are suffering, many are closed, many stores are closed. So this is a time for us to think out of the box and approach other sales channels. Shopify is the platform that I use for my web store, and it's amazing because it gives you marketing tools that are for free. You could send email blasts, you could connect your Instagram, your Facebook to your store and sell from both, which is an amazing thing to do. And also Amazon, not my dresses because the price point is higher, but my jeans, I sell on Amazon, and Amazon was kicking during the pandemic, as you all know. They were selling like never before. And so this was another avenue for me to move product. So I recommend exploring Amazon. We now have a great high-end, even high-end brands on Amazon. So it's not taboo anymore to sell on Amazon. That's an advice that I have for designers. And then the teleshopping networks such as QVC and HSN, they also thrived during the pandemic. They sold more than ever. So I encourage you to approach these channels. They are the ones that are really making it right now. And see, the department stores, they were, even before the pandemic, as you guys know, they were suffering, they were struggling, they were reinventing themselves. Meanwhile, these other retail channels are growing and thriving. And what I'm seeing is more and more companies are doing the same. They're trying to model after these selling channels that are being successful because people are buying more and more online and teleshopping. So now we're seeing more and more channels trying to sell on TV as well, like Rule-A-Lot. I don't know if you know Rule-A-Lot. It's a discounter, but at a better price. And you can also, they are also implementing the selling on TV for brands, which I'm starting to work with them now. As a Latina, I was approached by Univision. They also are implementing a gangas and deals opportunity, and they are looking for Latin American brands. So I was looking, they chose me, and we're going to be launching on November 19th. And so you can move product this way. They have the talent wear it. They have the talent, for instance, they're gonna have the talent, Aleida Ortiz, wear my dress for the Latin Grammys, which is something that I'm saying for the first time here. So that's breaking news. And then they're gonna do a flash sale for 24 to 36 hours on Univision. So imagine, they can move 1,000 to 4,000 units per style. So what a great opportunity to move inventory that you have sitting around. Of course, it is discounted, but it is discounted from the retail price. So you still are able to sell it more or less at the wholesale price. So which is awesome. It's an amazing opportunity. So I encourage you to look into all these things, knock on their doors, and get noticed, and start to think about volume, how to move volume, because this is a way to scale your company, to scale product distribution, to sell to get to a larger audience. And also, of course, you have the Instagram and Facebook shops, which I mentioned before, which is a great way to move product, not only direct to consumer, but you also get approached by stores that are otherwise not able to see you at the shows. And then finally, I have designing for survival and thriving in these unprecedented times. And one of the things that COVID has forced designers to do is to rethink what kind of product are we going to be designing and producing. In my case, I had the Cenia New York line, which is a day into evening dresses. a lot of cocktail and evening gowns. And so when the stores came to the show in August, what I realized is that stores are not buying any dressy product right now. They're not buying dressy dresses. They're not buying evening wear because of course, as we know, no one is doing huge events. No one is getting perhaps too dressed up. Yes, there's some weddings happening, smaller outdoors, but it's not as before. Who knows how long it's going to take for things to go back as they used to be. Some people are predicting maybe it's going to be 2022. So I immediately refocused, and instead of doing my usual Cenia New York collection for day into evening dresses, I made a more casual collection. Is all cotton, natural fabrics. She could wear it. It's Zoom cute. She could wear it for home, but she could go out to a meeting. She could go out to the store. And I realized that the stores actually had a great reaction to this product. And therefore, I'm going to be able to continue to produce for spring, produce this more casual apparel. And I also did a collaboration, a partnership with a factory in Naples, Florida, and we are producing a loungewear collection, which is all knits, all made in the United States, all natural fabrics such as modal, Natto stretch, rayon spandex. And this is also a line that you have leggings, you have t-shirts, you have comfortable soft dressing, you have jackets, you have even resort wear, which is resort, by the way, is a huge opportunity category right now because many people are staying in their second homes. And many people are going out of the country, either out of the country or to warmer weather where they have their second homes. And this is what they're wearing right now. So I encourage designers to focus more on this category. There's a lot of excitement for this category. I work with Hildom, actually from, which is a factory, but they also have a lot of retail intelligence in the market. And this is one of the things that they've been passing down the pipe, how more and more stores are looking for loungewear. So of course, many designers are already doing this, but it's going to be all about how you do it, how you do your own version of loungewear and what's selling in the market. And with that, I'm open for some questions if you have.
Okay, we do have some questions here that came on.
Did I get out of the meeting? I'm sorry, because I don't see the.
You're here, you're good. Okay. I'm gonna need some help with these questions. They are in Spanish, and I do speak a little Spanish, but my reading is not quite there. So Albania, if you could please help me out here, I'd appreciate it. You're on mute. You need to unmute yourself.
Sorry, there you are. All right, Cenia, if you don't mind just stopping your screen so that we can move forward with the questions. And Jason, yes, I'll definitely help you out.
I'm trying to, but I don't
on the top center, next to the green.
I don't see my full, okay, now I see.
So it's done. Yeah, you got it.
It's done?
Yes. So Jason, you want to read out the questions and I will be able to, or where do I see it? Because I don't see the questions here.
You should, oh, okay, I'm going to need him to, hold on, I need him to send it.
Just have him put him in the chat.
Yeah, right now they're sent private. Let me send them to everybody else right now.
Okay.
Here we go. Okay, you see them there?
Oh yeah, I see one here. Oh, okay.
Oh.
Wait a minute. All right, well, thanks for our Latin America audience. Thanks for joining the ATS virtual. Let me see here. It says, muchísimas felicidades, Albania, okay, just It's actually a comment, it's not a question. This is from a fashion designer from Bolivia, Reina from Carteras Haya from Bolivia. She's just saying congratulating all of us, myself, for the excellent work we're doing for the Latin America designers. Then there's question 2. This one is in English, so I'm going to read it off, and then maybe Oscar or Cenia can answer. Do all the sustainable efforts and innovations significantly increase the cost of apparel items? This is a question from Javier. I'm not sure if Cenia or Oscar, whoever wants to take up on that.
Well, I'll leave it to Oscar because he's more that's forte.
Sí.
Sustainable fashion, and this is something we're mistaking, actually. Yes, it has a price, it has a cost, but it's the right cost, it's the right price, because you not only buying a shirt, you're not only buying a pair of pants, you are paying for sustainable materials, you're paying so the people that work planting the cotton, harvesting the cotton, transforming the cotton to a textile, transporting the cotton to another factory to be transformed into clothing, to be shipped to another country, to be sold in apparel. You're paying those prices. So right now we're not paying the right price, we're not paying the right amount, and it's why not only the environment is suffering, it's why so many people around the world is suffering. And COVID-19, it showed us how companies, how fast fashion can be bad to humanity, because they just fire, they just don't care. They just stop the orders and don't buy anymore. And what do the companies? They just fire everyone. So it's not expensive, it's the right price. And eventually it will be lower because more people will be involved in the sustainable industry.
All right, great, excellent question. I have another one in Spanish here. Cenia, that one is probably for you. ¿Qué estrategia para impulsar un plan de ventas sustentable pueden sugerir en estas temporadas de el COVID-19, donde sin duda la creatividad de los diseñadores se ha maximizado? From Chile, Leti Fabiana. All right, I'm going to try to translate this. Her question is, what strategy we can use to impulse a plan of sales that can sustain during this COVID pandemic? And without a doubt, the creativity of the designers have maximized. So pretty much she wants to know what a strategy to impulse the sales throughout the COVID-19 pandemic for fashion designers that have been using their creativity to the max these days of crisis.
Well, I think exploring the alternate channels that I talked about before, other than just traditional brick and mortar stores, direct to consumer is the future. Is amazing because you can actually, you don't have a middleman. You can sell directly to the consumer, and therefore the designer can have a better margin, and the consumer can pay a better price. And so the question is, how do you get those? How do you get to the right audience? How do you get the traffic to come to your web store? And so that's when investing in the right digital marketing comes, investing in SEO, investing in, that's where the Google ads come into the question, into the equation. And I think exploring all those channels, exploring the teleshopping networks. And of course, I know these, like for instance, these teleshopping networks, the price is more mass market. But I also think designers have to remind themselves who's going to buy your product. Who are you designing for? Are you designing for high end? How many people? What's the number of people that are going to be able to afford your product? So make your business plan accordingly.
Perfect. And then we have, this is not really a question, it's a comment. Felicidades por este gran trabajo, Toribio Donato y FDLA, Leticia from Chile, basically congratulating Toribio and Donato for an excellent work, and the FDLA family. And her name is Leticia, and she's writing from Chile. So now, Jason, we're back with you. If there's no other Spanish questions to be translated.
Yeah, I feel like I understood half of it, and I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna mess this one up. Eric, you took over, but yeah. What one last question was, what is your main product for Alinur? Yeah.
What is your main product? I think the question
this was Alinur asking.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the question for?
I don't know. It just says who's your main product? What is your main product? That's all it says. So I think maybe each of you can answer that question.
Yeah.
Okay, well, for me is my Cenia New York dresses and the Cenia Comfy jean with the patent pending adjustable waist jean.
All right.
Yes, for us, we're very known for winter coats made of cactus and jackets from organic cotton, and also our accessories or bags are also is sort of like first item that sells.
Fantastic.
And do you want the question that was asked in Spanish? Do you want the answer to be translated into Spanish, or that's okay?
Yeah, yes. Sure.
Yeah, I won't be able to do that personally.
No,
so.
I think that's okay. I know this is Leticia from Chile. I will send her a message privately.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Great. All right. Well, that's all we have for questions here. Again, everybody, I highly encourage all of our speakers here and then our attendees to visit the virtual hangout, which is accessible through the right-hand side of the dashboard when you're logged into the trade show platform. It's the virtual trade show platform. It's a great place to network and ask additional questions. It's taking place of our show floor. And again, be sure to visit the exhibitor hall, which is where all the exhibitors are located for the show. So thank you again to our panelists, and thank you all who are watching right now. We will resume tomorrow again at 10 a.m. So thank you so much, all of you. And
thank you so much, Jason. We're all going to be moving on to the Zoom live hangout, like Jason said. And I thank you everyone for watching. Thanks, Cenia and Toribio and Oscar for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.